Hello and welcome to the unfortunate few who stumbled across this. New Stodes. A friend of mine sent me a few images before I went to work the other day, and that's how I kind of saw some of this. So I've been thinking about this little bit of information I knew about going into the video I just recorded about the stream. It should be uploaded before this one goes up, because there should be a day or two difference. I'm not sure what everyone at the moment is saying about this. It'll probably be a few days before this is even edited, because I work all day tomorrow and the following day, so this video might be a little old by the time it comes out. Hopefully not too old, obviously. Custodes are very cool. I really like the old Custodes models. I know some people have taken issue with how fat and bulky some of the Custodes can appear. I've always thought it was a good thing that they look good and bulky, because that's actually been an issue with some Space Marine, with most of the power armored models, is their legs tended to be a bit scrawny. As we know, armor is thick. It doesn't make you just taller. It thickens everywhere. So, ideally, if they did a Custodes refresh, I would like them to retain the bulkiness. As we can see, they have gotten a lot more Stormcasty. The proportions are obviously thinner. I believe probably to do with you don't want a female head on one of these huge, bulky bodies. It would look kind of silly. However, with these thinner but still buff bodies, it would be less noticeable, ideally. I guess I haven't mentioned it yet, but obviously I am not a fan of the idea of adding females to Custodes for multiple reasons. One, the Custodes have always been male. Their stupid little retcon and the 2 random asshole characters they added do not supersede the 40 years of lore that we've had to this. Supersede might not be the right word, but you should know what I mean. Something that's stupid should not throw it out, all that previously established stuff. I'm trying to think of the best way to put this without going into a nonsensical rant in too many directions, which I'm obviously still struggling with. But I guess I will try to talk about some of this in order of the miniatures shown. So, they showed off these new Custodes, and at glance, because what my friend sent me, he sent me this box and this image, and I saw the head, and that's when I kind of had, oh dear, no, they've done it. Obviously, taking a closer look, they've added a few more heads. But at a glance, if you did not notice that head, oh, cool, new Custodes. My friend is a Custodes player. I myself have a Custodes army. So, they got thinner. Their weapons are debatably more proportional. They forgot to put triggers on all of the spears because they're British and they don't know how guns work. Their helmets are, I think, worse looking. I think that is just downright retarded. With the plume directly on the on his bald head. But maybe I'm just not the target audience. Maybe because he obviously talking to some Custodes players. They seem to, not all of them, obviously, but some of them seem to like these thinner, more in proportion, I guess, Custodes. They're more athletic and more refined to what a true master-crafted, gene-crafted human could be, rather than the bulk of a Thunder Warrior or a Astartes. This is more of a perfected thing, so it makes sense it'd be a more athletic build. I get it. The new Custodian Guard are the quintessential image of the Custodians we all know and love. Tall Guardian Spears, high-plumed helmets, and glorious golden armor. The kit for these contain options for bear heads and command staff, including Vexilla. The Warhammer 40k fans among you might have noticed these will also be perfect for the Custodian Guard and the Adeptus Custodes army. So, I'm guessing these will be replacing all of this. They might not. They might try and be extra special, GW, I mean, and try and label this as heresy only, because that would be a stupid-ass marketing thing that would make sense for them. And then you got the swords, and like I said previous, the swords kind of look better. They're not as fat, surfboard-ish as those old ones. The shields also, they look better. Vexel looks good. You know, the posing, I like a lot of these calmer poses here. And even some of these bear heads aren't the worst. For the dudes, I should specify. Then we get this thing, and you know, oh cool, we're finally getting this thing in plastic. Kind of wish they had this in plastic, you know, when Heresy 2.0 released its Custodes. Not fucking 4 years later. By releasing Custodes, I mean obviously the Liber Imperium book. Because this is not the greatest tank in the world, but you know, it's fucking cool looking. Is that no gun? Anyway. And this Dreadnought, too, also, at a glance, he looks pretty good. He's made of plastic, which I feel is a superior material to the Forge World resin, mostly because you sneeze at resin, it can break. It's fucking annoying to work with because of that. However, it's not just dick tassels they added. All the filigree down here, it is noticeably thicker than what it was. And, you know, it's still a good-looking kit. I'll say that. Hopefully they remembered they have the Destructor thingy on the wrists available to them. I would not be shocked if that was sold as a whole-ass separate kit, or they just got rid of it, because 3.0 is keen on that. But it's one model kit, you can build it as either the Achilles or the Galatus, and that's cool. You know, that's fantastic. And then we get the Shield Captain model, though. And at first, like many people, you go, oh, okay, that's pretty neat looking. Again, I'm not really a fan of that helmet. I think it should be bulkier, but if you don't think it shouldn't be bulky, that's fine. But then it decides to take that step further, though. Where we got this old, not quite granny face. And I don't know if they were trying to go for an androgynous look or what, but it's not great. Also, the single vent on the back is a strange design choice. I'm curious if it's going to be like that on all of these guys then. But you don't have a bare male head, presumably, in the kit. It's probably just that helmet or the lady head. Which, if you're trying to piss off your customer base, that's a good way to do it. I don't know why you want to do that, but, you know, you're GW, you're well known for making asinine decisions and still making money out of it. So what the fuck do I know? And then you got the Venatari, which, again, how cool would this have been in 2.0? These don't look, I don't see any female heads really here, but, you know, that's fine. That's good, actually. If there's not, I'd prefer it. But I know we can't be so lucky. And then we got the other Custodes tank. Cool, nifty, fantastic. But my bigger issue for turning Custodes into these new Stodes, where they're men and women together. What the fuck do you idiots who applaud this idea think are going to happen to these Sisters of Silence? Genuinely. Because they're in this book now. With, you know, Sisters of Silence and the Assassins. Well, Assassins aren't going to get any more love, they're Assassins, who gives a shit? But the Sisters of Silence? In Heresy 2.0, they had an entire list with all kinds of options and models, or units that didn't have models, such as I think it was the Persecutor Cadre that had, like, the dogs and the alligators and shit they can take, the Jetpike Squadron, so on and so forth, heavy weapons teams. I guarantee you that the Sisters of Silence are going to get fuck all in this book. Because why do they don't need them anymore. We got Lady Custodes. We don't need Sisters. So, this single fucking kit That's all you're ever gonna get for sisters anymore. Sword Squad, Gun Squad, Bolter Squad, Flamer Squad. Maybe if you're lucky, an elite version of all of that. And if you have an HQ that isn't Janisha Krull, probably either just swords, or if you're very lucky, she might have the option for a bolter as well. Because 3.0 is shit. And that's my... not quite my bigger issue. I think it's an equal issue with making Lady Custodes. Is it doesn't add to the male faction, the male-only faction that is Custodes, because we have an equal number of male-only factions and female-only factions. Space Marines, all male. Custodes, all male. Sisters of Battle, all female. Sister of Silence, all female. They matched. They connected to each other. It made sense. Now we have Custodes, which can be men and women. So they're just gonna fuck over Sister of Silence. And if you played Sister of Silence, you already know it's kind of a struggle to model your army. One kit can not only carry you so far before you have to go to third party or start doing lots of kit bashing versions. Or printing. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. And that's my other big issue. I know this is very ranty and rambly. I'm trying to put my thoughts together without being a lot of swearing. And then they released this article a little bit ago. They want to address the elephant in the room. Yes, some of these Custodes are female. Is this a new thing? Yes, it is. Them, with their stupid little tweet they put out, that Custodes, there have always been female Custodes, and that went poorly. Obviously, this shit is done years in advance, planned out, these model ranges. So, this was already well on the way before that backlash ever happened. But here they are. And this stupid little article, it talks about how Custodes are not Space Marines, and that's true. They're much stronger, they're much better, they're more refined and different process to make them. And it's like, well, aren't Custodes made from the Sons of Terra noble houses? It's like, yes, that's always been the lore, and it's not some of them. So here's the issue. Why would you bother taking noble daughters to make Custodes with? The Imperium has many issues. Manpower has never been one of them. Terra, as the Emperor conquered it, had billions of fuckers on it already. There are plenty of nobles there. If even 1% of the nobles are there, you got plenty of recruits, man. And it's like, well, okay. Again, I'm trying not to just make this 20 minutes of me ranting with lots of swearing and being angry. I'm trying to be more on point. Just saying, well, he just took daughters, that doesn't make sense. It's like, well, all Custodes, male or female, embody the pinnacle of genetic and cellular engineering. They are flawless creations, pushed beyond the limit of human potential. There's no difference between male and female custodians. Okay, so why bother having males or females then? Because at the end of the day, what does that mean? It means they pumped her full. They pumped a girl so full of testosterone and other chemicals and who knows what else. Then they had to chop her tits off to make her fit in the armor. So what's the point of femininity? And you're gonna tell me the Emperor, his grand dream for the pinnacle of his engineered bodyguards is to be not beautiful? Like, the Emperor clearly cared about aesthetics, man. Look at the Custodes' armor. Look at his own armor. Look at his sons. None of them are being described as particularly ugly. In fact, most of them are described as quite handsome. And no, just adding tit plates wouldn't make it better. And no, if someone had female Custodes, I'm not gonna fucking sit there and rant and yell at them in person. That'd be stupid. It's kind of like if you see someone with a female Space Marine army. You just kind of roll your eyes and whatever. It's their own army, who gives a shit. I will say, the only bright spot in all this, and I do mean the only real, true bright spot that has no major fuckery, is they are still very adamant that yes, Space Marines are males and will be males only right here. Will they change this? Well, they've already proven they've changed Custodes, so I do think it is a very real possibility. Not with 11th edition like a bunch of negative Nancys are saying right now. However, 12th, 13th edition, give it 6-10 years. Yeah, I can see it. And that's not a good thing, to be that unsure. Do I think these will make money? Of course they'll make money. Most of GW's audience, myself included at certain moments of the year, have bad decision-making skills and will make impulse purchases when they really don't need to. I might be above other people in the fact that I usually will wait for shit to go on sale at a local place or find it for cheap secondhand, but at the end of the day, I'm still grabbing shit. And I don't know if I think I said in a video, I'm not sure which one, but I've mentioned to friends before if they did female Custodes or female Space Marines as a model, not just some bullshit they added in a book for government funding or BlackRock funding, I would stop buying any GW crap. No books, no models, no nothing. I'll buy recast, sure, because obviously I have my projects still go. And I'm not just going to give up the whole thing and woe is me, because that's not my style. So this is also will be the last time I will ever buy anything. Or last week, I guess, was be the last time I bought any official GW plastic. Can't see myself buying even secondhand at this point, because that still perpetuates this crap for going further. So I guess, much like when EA did their terrible, terrible nonsense with Dead Space 3 all those years ago, and I simply went cold turkey, no EA, no nothing, I'll just do the same here, just fuck it. New Stodes are a mistake. And anyone who supports it, you know what you're supporting, man. It is what it is. But, yeah. I don't know. I know this is very long, very ranty. I'll try and cut it up a little bit to make it make as much sense as I can. I guess agree, disagree, I don't know. Yell at me in the comments, hit the DoorDash button, I don't fucking know, man. Have a good day.